Good evening, traders, and welcome back to the Forex Focus. I know we've been gone for a little while, and I apologize for that. We've been working hard with on our new mentoring program, which is going well. You'll be glad to hear. But as I said, obviously we've neglected this a little bit, and I've had a few emails come into the inbox, and also notably a person on FX Street on one of our webinars that we did for FX Street last week just said that they missed it, and they wanted us to bring it back. We should focus more on the Forex Focuses. So Oscar, here it is for you, okay? And obviously everybody else has been posting saying that, you know, they enjoy the weekly Forex Focuses and it helps them in terms of their preparation for the week ahead. So it is back, and we will try to ensure that we keep getting this out week after week so that you all can obviously watch this for your entertainment value and educational value each and every week. You'll be happy to know that there's been quite a few moves in the markets this week. So we do have plenty to talk about there. There are a few things that are sort of imminently setting up, and there are a few other moves there that are sort of setting up for probably potentially not next week, but you know, definitely the week after or the week after that. So there's some big moves out there and some things that we can really take advantage of going into the Christmas period. So hopefully to bank some nice pips before Christmas there. So without further ado, let's jump over to the charts and take a look at what could be setting up in the week ahead. So we'll start off by looking at the Australian dollar. Now we've got four pairs that the Aussie's basically appreciating against, and it's really looking like something that could set up for the week or the weeks ahead. So we've got some strong moves in the Aussie CAD, Aussie Franc, Euro Aussie and Pound Aussie. And as you can see here, even though from a longer term perspective, so looking at the daily charts here, it looks like it's coming out of some consolidation, which it's been in for quite a while. What I really want to focus on is some sorts of more short to medium term setups that could present themselves on the 4 hour and the 1 hour chart. So as you can see here on the 4 hour chart, obviously it's broken out of a mini congestion zone there that it was in on the 4 hour chart. And then it's broken through the larger congestion zone, which is this one that you can see here on the daily chart. What ultimately I'm looking at on these pairs here is looking for a pullback to a previous level of support, so something like that perhaps, so to the 0.9578 level, or maybe down to the 0.9508. And I'm looking at that either on the 4 hour chart or on the 1 hour chart. Either or doesn't really make a difference. I'm happy to take a trade on either of them. I'm looking for a short to medium term move, so anything from a few hours to a few days, but certainly nothing that's going to be, you know, lasting a couple of weeks. But ultimately, what excites me about this is moves like this. So we've got nice sustained moves, just up over a sustained period of time with little sort of sideways price action. It usually gives us an opportunity, at least one pullback, in which we can make a little bit of profit out of. So that's one that's definitely on the radar. Also looking at the Aussie Franc, which is pretty much a carbon copy. It's painting exactly the same picture there. So broken out of some structure to the downside. We've broken out of it to the upside, but some structure that's holding the downtrend in place. So if you take a look at the Aussie Franc chart here, you know, you could draw in a trend line. Let's do that so you can see what I'm trying to illustrate here. We had a downward sloping trend line here where the market sold off, came back to it, sold off, came back to it, and then eventually broke through it, spent some time at that level, and has now broken through that level. So I'll be looking for a pullback on either the 4 hour chart or the 1 hour chart. Most likely the 4 hour chart, to be honest with you, after this sort of a sustained move. Because what you want is you want to get into harmonic price action, okay? You want to get into harmonic moves. And when the market pulls back that much, ultimately you want to see, you know, at least sort of like a 40 to 50% pullback of that move to let you know that price is ready to continue off in the direction from which it first came. Obviously, we've just got to keep an eye on structure levels on the longer term chart. So the weekly chart, it's got this mini high here to play with. So we'll just have to wait to see how it reacts to that. But hopefully it can hold above that, give us a little bit of a pullback, which obviously we'll be more than happy to get involved with. The Euro Aussie is a very, very good one. Obviously, we've got the Australian dollar giving us strength there, which is great. But we've also got, you know, the euro dollar, which we think is going to give us provide a lot of weakness in coming into the weeks or the months ahead. So this one really is a very, very good trade as well. Again, it's overextended right now, but we're waiting for a pullback on this pair. And when we get a pullback, then we'll obviously be looking to take this to the short side. Pound Aussie, same story more or less. Big down move, big momentum move there. Obviously, we're looking for a pullback on either the 60 minutes or the 4-hour chart. The daily chart, the one thing we need to keep in mind is that we're coming up to a massive structure level there at the 2.0800 level, or there or thereabouts. So if it does get up to that level there, we just need to be careful shorting into it. Obviously, once it's broken through, we'd be more than happy to take a short through it. Looking at the CAD yen, so this is something that could set up in next week, in the next few days. Obviously, we're coming up to, we've got this we've got a trend line, counter trend line in here. The momentum on the CAD yen is down, as you can see there. So we're making lower highs and lower lows there. The market then went into some consolidation. It's played with the 100 moving average. And now, if I zoom into this for you, you can see that it's threatening to break through this trend line. Now, the way that I'll play this is that I won't take an immediate break through that trend line. I'll wait for it to break through the trend line and then maybe give it a bit of a pullback to it or consolidate around the trend line and look to get in on a break of structure on something like the 4-hour chart or the 1-hour chart once we get through that level there. So I'm not necessarily going to take an immediate breakthrough. I am looking to go short, but obviously we've got to see how it reacts to that level. And I much prefer it when it shows some sort of respect to the level before breaking through it. For the Euro New Zealand, this is a very interesting opportunity here. Obviously, we've seen how the Euro Aussie's gone parabolic to the downside there. The Euro New Zealand is also looking like it has the potential to do that. And ultimately, what I'm looking for is I'm going to look into getting on an immediate break below this low here. So the market came down. You can see it's gone quite a long way there. So it broke all the way down to this level from September, August, the highs in August, all the way down to this that it made in October. Then most of November, it's been consolidating and going sideways. I feel that this is going to go shorter, so I'm going to get short into this trade, going to sell the Euro New Zealand if we get below this level here. The pound franc is similar to the CAD yen, but it's a much shorter term trade. So we've got a counter trend pullback here on the 1-hour chart, and ultimately I'll be looking to take some pips here if we can get a break back up above this level, above this counter trend line here. As you can see, it's been nicely tracking up the 100 moving average, and every time it comes towards it, after a little bit of time, it pushes away from it and usually to the upside. And this hopefully will be no exception. Hopefully history will repeat itself and we'll get an opportunity there to get in long. Moving on to the pound yen. The pound yen, like the CAD yen, is another one that we're going to look to take a trend line break. This one's slightly shorter term, so this one's on the 4-hour chart, but as you can see, the market's been respecting this trend line up, up, up. So it keeps bouncing along this trend line all the way up there. If we can get a break through this trend line, followed by a little bit of consolidation, and then a further break to the downside, that's an opportunity that I'm going to be all over. Coming up to our final opportunities, we've got this one here on the New Zealand franc, which is similar to the one on the Euro New Zealand, and basically we'll look like we're breaking. In fact, it's almost a carbon copy to the Euro New Zealand, only the inverse. But the market from August has been rallying up, and then at the end of October it found resistance at the high there. Throughout November it's been consolidating, and it's now back up at this level. And I really feel if we can get above this level, then we'll be looking to take that to the long side and looking to trade that up towards these sorts of levels here. Equally, if it breaks above that level, then breaks back down, I'll look at that as a sign that the downtrend here is going to continue, and hence look to get in on a short. So we can kind of play that and the Euro New Zealand from both sides there. Finally, the dollar franc is giving us sort of like a liquidity fade here. So one, we've broken out above this high price resistance there. It's just up at this high price resistance that it printed back in January of this year, literally just before the SMB removed the floor from the euro franc. So you can see it's taken pretty much a year to get all the way back up to this level, and it is a very, very significant level. So I don't anticipate that it's going to smash through this level with very little resistance. Obviously, if it does, that would be a great opportunity to get long. But I'm sort of anticipating more of resistance to this level here, and the potential for the market to close back down beneath this level. So beneath sort of like the 1.0126, close to the downside, and then give us an opportunity to get in at least for a short towards the 0.9899, so the 0.9900 even, if not going lower. So for all of you guys that watched our last webinar on FX Street, you know exactly what I'm talking about there in terms of trade setup. And that basically wraps it up for this week's Forex Focus. So I hope you enjoyed this week's Forex Focus. I hope obviously it was worth the wait. Again, apologies that it took us so long to get this out, and we haven't been posting it regularly over the past few months. As I said, we've been working really, really hard on the mentor program. It's something that we just launched last month. And it's, you know, we just want to make sure that those guys and girls that have signed up to that are obviously getting full value and getting all of our attention. And that ultimately means that some things obviously have taken a backseat. One of those things is the Forex Focus. So apologies for that. But obviously, you know, we can see that it means a lot to a lot of you out there. So we will endeavor to make sure that we can get this out week after week for you all, because obviously it's come to be part of your trading routine. Although do please remember that my brother and I were not authorized or regulated to give investment advice. So this is educational. This is for educational purposes only. Okay, we're just showing you the trades that we're looking at taking on our own accounts. All right, it's not saying you guys have to go there and you guys have to trade this. It's literally just showing you what we're doing, if that makes any sense there. So again, I hope you enjoyed this week's session. If you did, please give it the thumbs up, or post a comment. And again, we'll try our best to reply to all of the comments as well. So didn't realize it meant so much to so many of you, but after all of those emails, obviously we'll do our best by all of you, as we always do. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Have a really good week's trading, and I look forward to speaking to you all on the next Forex Focus. Take care now.